What happens to gold and silver if we have a major economic calamity, a recession, a big depression, economic troubles, but at the same time, a continuation of the high prices that we've grown accustomed to over the last year, year and a half? I think we need to consider the fact that we are headed towards some serious economic pain, and we need to look at this very important fact. We can't expect prices to come down. We can't expect food prices, fuel prices, rent prices, any of those major categories to come down. We hear a lot of our leaders talking about we need to get inflation under control, blah, blah. They're talking about decreasing the rate of inflation. They'd be really thrilled if they could get it down to 2, 3, 4%. They'd be taking victory laps. We'd still have inflation at that point. We wouldn't have lower prices. We would have even higher prices than we have now. And what if that occurs at the same time that we're going through economic hardship? I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but when I look at the statistics, the stories that I'm seeing in the financial press right now, the mainstream media, it really indicates to me that we're headed towards some tougher economic times. We need to be prepared. We need to talk about it right now. The first bit of good news we got this week was that the New York Fed shared with us that their manufacturing index, the Empire State Manufacturing Index, registered the second lowest reading in history. Second lowest in history. That does not point toward solid economic activity in New York, one of the economic hubs of our country. What that points toward is economic slowdown, recession. Now is not the time to be buying a new house. It only takes a quick perusal of the mainstream media headlines to see that even they now are talking about a major slowdown in the housing market, a major segment of our economy. Mortgage companies are laying people off. Mortgage applications are way down. New home starts are way down. The housing market, which lags a little bit, is starting to crater. And most importantly, when the mainstream media is talking about it, you know it's a real problem, and it's a real problem for our economy. And what about us, just the average Americans? I saw this statistic last night, which says that 62% of us are worried about being able to pay for housing next year. 62% of people are concerned that they'll be able to put a roof over their head next year. Where are they going to get the money to pay for the basic need that we all have, which is shelter? But the economy's in great shape. No, everybody's having a hard time divvying up their limited funds between food, fuel, transportation, housing, education. Things are not looking good right now. And it's not just us average individual Americans who are suffering. It was reported that in the month of July, 50% of small businesses had a hard time paying their rent. That's the heartbeat of the American economy, right? The American small business. And when half of them are reporting trouble with meeting their rent obligations, that doesn't send a real good signal for where that critical component of our economy, where their health is, where their growth is for the next year. And what about the high income earners? You know, the families that bring in over 100,000 US dollars per year. 70% of them recently reported they were very concerned about being able to pay their bills into the next year because of inflation. And remember, folks, the inflation, the best we can hope for at this point is a stabilization of prices. We aren't going to see major price decreases in the major sectors of the economy. And I understand you could get a little depressed looking at all this information, but we have to accept the conditions the way they are right now and do what we need to do to protect ourselves. Many of us have chosen to invest in precious metals because they've provided a store of value for thousands and thousands of years, but there's other things you can do as well. Try to stay out of debt whenever possible. Try to live beyond your means. Spend less money than you bring in every year. That's a simple addition and subtraction exercise that you can do. But if you do invest in the precious metals, I want to tell you, I got a little good news for you. I was watching TV last night and this 15-second commercial came on. We have a new savior in the silver market. His name is Roger Lodger, and he had a great little commercial where he talked about the benefits of silver. I'm going to play that for you right now.
America is on its way to becoming the world's clean energy superpower, and silver is about to replace oil. Clean energy technology is reliant on silver. And believe it or not, we don't have enough silver to cover America's energy requirements, let alone the world's.
So is silver really expensive then?
It's not. Start with Noble Gold's Gold and Silver Investment Guide. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com.
So what do you think? Did Roger Lodger know anything about silver before he agreed to get paid to make that commercial? Maybe he did. I'd be curious to find out. I just think maybe they could have done better hiring someone who genuinely feels extremely passionate about the precious metals. Maybe some guy who sits in his basement. He could make a great commercial for them, probably at half the cost. But I digress. The one thing I do know is that you feel passionate about the precious metals. I feel passionate about the precious metals, and I appreciate you being here with me in Ron's basement. You are important, and you're always welcome here. You can subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up, turn on the bell notifications, share the video with anyone you like, and please leave a comment below so we can learn from each other. Until next time, you be well.